Hi, everyone. You have arrived to 2021, and this is season two of the talent show powered by TTEC. Wonderful to be here with you all. Got through the holidays, hopefully, well, varying degrees, right? Everybody's in different situations and stuff, but we did make it to the new year. Awesome. Welcome to the show. Before we go much farther, I should introduce myself. If this is the first time you're joining us, you may not know me. I'm Rachel Moore. I've been hosting this show through all of season one and really excited about what season two is going to bring. Probably some awesome new guests, which we always have, possibly some new hosts, because my goodness, we have a ton of people and talent here at TTEC who are fabulous. And I love seeing that some of you are already anticipating me in the comments, sharing where you're watching from. And that is my next question for you. It really just helps us kind of get the ball rolling. Can you all share in the comments where you are watching from? So I'm going to put some of these up on the screen. We've got Brazil, Pakistan, awesome, Mexico. Hello, Cesar. So lovely to see you all. Keep sharing those in the comments. Now, I know I always ask you all to share in the comments where you're watching from. I think it just kind of builds camaraderie and that connection. But there's an additional reason we're doing it today, and you're going to see why, because it very much ties into our topic for today. So I see we've got Georgia, we've got United States, Ohio, we've got India. I love this. Argentina, my goodness. This show is literally global. That's the beauty of this kind of digital connection that we're creating right here, is because you guys can all join us from wherever you are. And I see Belfast and Indiana. This is great. Also, you guys, if you're seeing, if you're seeing that showing your comments on the screen, that's going to come into play in this show today too, way more than it has in the past. Special show today. And if you are watching this show, and maybe this is your first time, here's what this show is all about. The Talent Show is powered by TTEC, and we are here every other week to bring you aspects of the talent life of TTEC, the people who make us what we are. What the topics that we cover are always about the benefits or the programs or the people or the experiences, the career growth, the inclusivity, our diversity, all of these things. And so, and yes, Stephen, if I saw your comment, telling you right about that now. We do this show every other week right here at noon Eastern on our LinkedIn company page. And we're just here to kind of create that conduit to let you know what's going on at TTEC, what's going on with our people, what's going on with where we're hiring. That is part of the show too. So we always talk about a topic. Usually we have a guest to talk about that topic, their subject matter expert. Then we also always cover some of our hot job opportunities. TTEC is always hiring. We were hiring all through 2020, and we're still hiring in 2021, and excited to share those opportunities with you at the end of the show. And that's pretty much what we cover during this show. So really pleased you're all joining. And again, so many people. I see Ian from the Philippines. Hello. And we even have Egypt. See? Now, this is why I love this, because we're seeing how easy it is to use this to connect with each other. This is a digital means. I don't know if I'll ever get to go to Egypt, but I can see someone from Egypt right here in the feed. It's amazing. So really excited about today's show, because this figures in extremely well with what we're going to talk about. So today's show is a special episode. I don't actually have a guest for you, an official guest. I will be kind of hosting this by myself today, but when I say I don't have an official guest waiting in the studio, I mean to say that you're going to help be my guest on the screen. Today, we're going to talk about shining through with our networking. All right. Networking is hugely important. Hopefully you all realize that if this is your first time kind of hearing about networking, or perhaps you've heard of it and just never have really been able to invest time or energy or even know what to do with networking, we're going to talk about that today. Networking is a huge part of your career, of where you wind up, of the opportunities you're able to see, apply for, and then access and be offered for your career. It's incredibly important. I'm a huge advocate of networking. Honestly, the reason I work at TTEC is because I networked, and I kept people in my network, and I was able to join this company. And any of my other career moves too, really over the last 15 years, I would say, have been because I networked and I kept that up. So there's huge value in it. So please trust me. I mean, all of the efforts that people do going through job sites and searching and things like that, of course, that's all part of the process. Having a good resume, interviewing skills, all that. But to even get to those opportunities, sometimes that network is your bread and butter. And we're going to talk about that today. So today, like I said, I don't have a guest sitting in the studio, but I am going to be showing your comments on the screen because we're going to talk about networking, kind of have an on-screen dialogue about it, me talking and you guys in the comments. And I think this is probably going to be one of the most helpful videos we've ever done because with all of you bringing your expertise into the comments about networking, particularly considering you're all from all different regions and geographies and even stages in your career, I think we're going to see some amazing insights. Are you ready? Let's do this. Okay, so first up, I want to point out a really basic tip about networking is that it's an ongoing effort. You should be networking as you're searching, but don't stop after you get the job. You should continue networking after you land a job. Now, that might seem really rudimentary. Like, of course I'm going to network once I get a new job. Of course you are. You're going to be meeting new people where you're working. You're going to probably, if you have a LinkedIn, you're going to say, oh, let's connect on LinkedIn. And LinkedIn makes it so easy because if you guys all look at your profiles, you can actually add, in your experience, you can add the company you're working for. If they have a company page on LinkedIn, they probably do. You can add that they are your company that you work for. And then that LinkedIn company page can show you all of the people that work at that company who are on LinkedIn. It's the easiest thing in the world. And so easy to create that network of people you are employed by at the same place. But that it doesn't stop there. You should continue working on your network as you are at a job. Mostly because you just never know. I mean, your career is a path. It's a journey. Some of you may find that you find a job and you stay at that job for decades. That is awesome. Every one of us wants to find that home, right? That place where we're spending over half of our waking life each week, and we want to be there. But you also want to say, well, maybe there's opportunities down the road that I want as well. So you always want to be keeping a lookout on that. So what I'd like to know from you, here's my question for all of you in the comments, all of you watching, whether you're watching live or the replay, you can still comment and it's awesome. What are ways that you stay connected and you keep your network fresh for when you need it? So I'd love to hear some insights from you in the comments. Add your hot takes, add the tips or the tricks that you do. How do you stay yourself? How do you stay connected to your network and keep that fresh for when you need it? So I know one thing that I do is I do visit LinkedIn just about every day. And it really just takes like 5 or 10 minutes. And I just kind of visit my feed and I see I interact with people's posts. I might comment here and there. If I see something that's relevant, like saying, hey, this is actually cool, I think I'll message the person just to let them know that I liked what they said and maybe we can start a dialogue there. Sometimes, and LinkedIn will help you with this too, is that you can look at announcements that LinkedIn says, hey, this person's celebrating a work anniversary, or they have a birthday, or maybe they did do a job change. And so you can reach out, if you're connected with that person, reach out on a direct mail on LinkedIn. And if you're connected, degree connection with that person, you can do that for free. You can do that. Stephen, I like what you put up here too. LinkedIn, and I know we're talking specifically about LinkedIn right now, but you can take their skill assessments and test for certifications. I don't know if you all knew that was a feature in LinkedIn, and it's free. I don't have a premium account, and I'm able to do that. But that's a great way to do it because then you add to your profile. Now, LinkedIn, like any other social network, they are bent on connecting people. They want people to find each other. That's their whole bread and butter. Granted, they all run on ad platforms, which helps them make revenue. But that's why they know it's so important to help foster those connections and help you discover those connections if you don't know that they're there. And I love what Anne is saying is also check LinkedIn. Just that 5 or 10 minutes a day, everyone. Check your feed. And like I said, LinkedIn will tell you, hey, I think you might be connected to this person. We just talked about when you join a new job and you have an employer and you have that same employer with other people. That is an instant way someone's already in your network and you can make a connection. But you can also connect if you're from the same locale. That's why we were sharing at the very beginning and why it means more today for this show's topic. When you're sharing where you're from, so if I were to see people in the comments that said, hey, I'm from Denver, Colorado, I'd be like, oh, no way. Maybe we're not connected. Let me go check, because that means you're part of my network. Even just having a geographical proximity is good. Jamie, I like what you're putting here. I use keywords via search for certain roles and add those that are my first connection. My current searches are based upon AWS developers. We're going to touch on that in a little bit too. I've grown my network by almost 300 in the past 3 weeks. Right? There's some value there going on because it expands her network. And that's true. Jamie, you brought up a great point. Every person you add to your network, now you have potential to network with everyone they're connected to. It's like glitter. It just keeps spreading and gets everywhere. Or I always like to look at the little powdered toner that's in printers. That stuff gets everywhere. But glitter's way more fun. So I love all these tips, and I'm going to share some of these too. So some of the individuals you're seeing in our comments are actually our TA from our talent acquisition team. They know about networking. Cesar is saying everyone should create a video resume. That is brilliant. And considering these days where most of you might be interviewing only by video right now, right? Because of physical distancing, makes a ton of sense to have that video resume ready. And look, I see Stephen in the comments, you're mentioning, look, it's too easy to self-critique ourselves, right? I totally appreciate that comment. Video is not that easy. I would never expect anyone in the comments or anyone I even know to just hop in and do this video, say that I'm on camera with you and we're live right now to tens of thousands of people. But if you are just thinking, hey, look, it's just a simple video, I'm only going to share it to people that I apply to, and they just need to get a sense of who I am. And granted, you could probably take a few takes at that, and that makes total sense. But really, it's okay if you say it's okay if you say and stuff like that. That's real talk. It's not like you're going to be a newscaster, right? So just think about that as you think about all those things too. And I love that Jamie's using this very chat. Send her a connection request if you want. We're connecting right now, building that network. So great thoughts, everyone. Keep sharing those too. What are those ways to stay connected and keep that networking fresh? And really, that's important too. Once you're in that new job, don't ignore the network that isn't connected to you at your new job. You need to keep those people on your radar. And granted, your network can get pretty big, and that's okay. But it really is about, catering to it and stuff. And I'd love to hear too, I know we've been talking about LinkedIn, and I don't have a screen prompt for this, but I want to hear in your comments too, what, aside from LinkedIn, particularly these days when we're physical distancing, what other ways are you digitally networking with people? I'd love to hear some of that. Are you guys joining Slack groups? There are tons of themed and topical and industry Slack groups out there. Sometimes it's just about knowing where they are and someone inviting you. I'll say I just this year joined a marketing Slack group. I joined a social media manager Slack group. And I think there was one other. Yeah, and it was a women in business Slack group. I'm loving it. They're not on LinkedIn, but it's just ways that I can interact with people and have those discussions. So what are some ways aside from LinkedIn that you all are networking with other people? I would love to hear those in the comments. On to the next point. And this is really important. And I love that, I think we're being really transparent in the comments as you all are sharing your insights. It's okay to ask for help. All right. So I know that especially, let's say you are seeking a job. If you guys all just think right now about how that feels, that feels incredibly vulnerable, right? Like, oh God, I don't have a job right now. That's awful. Like there's I'll go so far as to say sometimes we can feel there's a shame about that, about I don't have a job. I just want us to chuck that shame right out the window. It's gone like 2020. Okay. We don't need to feel that embarrassment because we're trying to find another opportunity. And even look at this last year. My goodness, it wasn't like people were trying to not be employed, right? Be unemployed. They were trying to actually work. And it's just been a hard year, which is again why TTEC, we're so proud that we have continued hiring and are continuing to offer employment for people. And please, by all means, visit us, ttechjobs.com. Obviously, we have some of our our talent acquisition people in the comments too. We're here to help, and I'm going to share some jobs at the end. But it is okay to ask for help from your network. Don't feel shame. Everyone needs help with something at some point. And that includes when you're looking for an opportunity. So one thing that's great, I'm going to come back to LinkedIn now. LinkedIn actually will let you on your profile, and it's right under your picture and your name on your profile. When you're editing your profile, you can add the open to work little banner on your image. That is a visual indicator to anyone who sees your profile saying, oh, you're looking for work. Okay, great. Because guess what? Some companies are looking for people who need work. So make sure you add that. It's okay to put those indicators up, and there's no shame in feeling that. So I really appreciate that you guys, you're just using all these aspects and stuff, but let your connections know you're looking. And here's reason why. You may have no clue as to who in your network could help you with that next step. And it may not be saying, hey, I saw you're open for work. Let me offer you a job. That would be excellent if it always worked out that way, right? But it may be that they're saying, hey, my sister works for a company and they're hiring. Let me get you connected with them. I actually had a friend of mine who her son had relocated to Washington, and she said, hey, can he reach out to you? He's looking for work. I hear that your company's hiring. So all that kind of stuff. There's no, just utilize those networks, because again, that person could give you a next step to the next opportunity. You never know how it might turn out. So I really appreciate you guys are sharing that stuff too. Yeah. Helping, have the hiring hashtag. That's a perfect example. Obviously really hot on LinkedIn. People are looking at that hashtag, and others. Another hashtag is now hiring. So that's a great way to find companies that are hiring, like TTEC. I love what Jamie said too. You can also search for roles via Facebook. Use the parentheses and the quotes in your searches to find exact matches. Excuse me. She's sharing an example, in quotes, licensed insurance agents. So you can look for those. And I would say on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Google, on YouTube. A lot of companies, including TTEC, are advertising and putting videos up on YouTube that we're looking. So I think that's great to be utilizing all those ways. And thank you for those tips. Keep sharing those tips in here too. But seriously, encouraging everybody, it's okay to ask for help. Seriously, ask for help in these comments. Ask for help from your new networking people that you're in. And just, heck, put a post up on your feed saying, hi, I'm looking for an opportunity. Now, if you're already at an opportunity at a job and don't want to lose it, probably not the best time to do that either. But again, there are all kinds of groups and ways and secret ways and direct messages, private messages, just different ways that you can say, hey, I'm looking, but also use those search terms as well. And referrals. I know that our TA pros in the comments are going to have stuff to say about this, but referrals are gold. So imagine that you do find a job on a job board or on a company's website, and you apply, and you may find a lot that they're always putting a field in there now saying, do you know any, did someone refer you for this position? It's so great when you have that information. If you do have a person that you can say, yeah, this person who works for you or did work for you had referred me to come and apply here because they said it was great. I can't tell you enough how companies really value referrals. Honestly, those become the employees that stay the longest, that work the hardest, that are their best performers, because they've probably already talked to that person to say, hey, should I apply at this company? What's it like? What's the culture like? What's the career path like? Is there career growth? Do they do professional development? Do they do work-life balance? Things like that. But when you can offer up that contact, that the recruiting or TA team can say, all right, let's go find that person. Plus, a lot of companies, particularly if they're keen on hiring, like TTEC is, will often offer incentives to the person who referred the applicant. So make sure you're using those referrals, whether it's a friend, whether it's a family member, or whether it's a former connection from a prior job or someone who's at a current job or anything like that. Use those connections and make gold out of those referrals. So let's open it up now. What other networking must-dos can you think of? Now, I was trying to dress a little nice today. Like, let's just say that I knew about a webinar that was going to be happening for, hey, potential applicants who want to learn more about this opportunity, and I wanted to show up on that webinar. I am dressed. I'm trying to do a little it's a business casual look. I could probably put like a jacket on or something, or a scarf, and look a little, a little more dressed up a little bit. But I would say definitely make sure if you're going to be on video or a picture in any way in those kind of networking situations where, hey, this could turn into an opportunity, business casual. All right. Just do a little bit, and you don't have to, go crazy with accessories or anything. I think I'm wearing a black turtleneck I've had for 10 years. This is not like I went out shopping or anything, and just maybe some, whatever, if you want to accessorize, that's great. But just show up looking like, hey, this is how I would look on the first day at work. And here I am. I'm here to show up. So I think those are some really great tips. And also, I was going to say one thing too. When you are applying or trying to figure out how to apply to a job, remember, and it's a two-way street here, right? You are trying to create connection with a company, and you're probably going to interact with people from that company. Best foot forward, right? I know this whole application process, especially in a year of the pandemic when there's so much unemployment, can be really frustrating. It can take longer than you want it to take, for sure, particularly for people who, let's be honest, if you've been unemployed and you just need to earn because of you need to live. It's an incredibly stressful time. Totally understand that, right? And you just want to get those wheels moving so you can start the work and get your career going again. Completely understand that. But remember, it's a two-way street too. You're applying to a job, and then you're interacting with people who want to get you in that job, but they have to assess the business needs and make sure that you'd be a good fit there and that you'd do what was needed. And it's a two-way relationship. So just remember, you're building that relationship from the first moment you apply. Best foot forward, right? Just give them everything you can that is saying, hey, you would be lucky to have me. I love this. Let's go. So just remember that as we get through this process. Again, just acknowledging it is a very stressful time. Also for our recruiters, right? And our TA professionals, because they want to make sure they're getting, hey, we want to employ people and make sure we get them in the right role, because they want you to stay in that role and be happy there, right? And be fulfilled and do all the things you're meant to do. So just some good feedback there. All right. And I love what you guys are saying too. I love Jamie says, I always keep a black blazer on standby. That's a great, yeah. I think I bought and again, I think I got it at Goodwill, because I'm just not one who likes to spend a whole lot on clothes. I just don't. I feel comfortable when I have, and if it's, doesn't have holes in it, sweet. But I went to Goodwill. I'm like, oh, look, I saw a blazer I could easily just throw on. It would go with anything. I'm also a huge fan of scarves. My family hates it because I probably have way too many scarves. If there's anything I do spend on, it's scarves. But that's my thing. But yeah, just having those go-tos and stuff. So, and I'd love you all, if you can leave in the comments, we've talked about LinkedIn. What are other platforms? Jamie mentioned Facebook. What are some other ways that you're networking right now aside from LinkedIn? Would love to hear about those, because those things are out there. It's interesting. We actually just this last year started a Facebook group on our USA page as well as our Mexico page. Hadn't done that before, but we wanted to create that community, right, where people could come in for help, come in and network and things like that. But your first place you can start today, in the comments of people who are watching this video, network with those folks. And the best part is you can go and ask to connect and say, hey, I saw you in the comments on the talent show powered by TTEC. They'll be like, oh, great, I was there too. It's a connection. It's that first step. It's that little way you guys can do it. Stephen, I like that you mentioned Instagram too. Absolutely. Comments on threads on Instagram are lit. So there's a lot of activity going on there. So really good. Also, even Discord channels, and some other live stream things like that. There's just a ton of ways we can network. Meetup.com, I think, has groups on there too and things like that. So, all right. We have covered quite a lot here, and seriously, thank you all so much for your input into all of these different networking tips. I think we just all want to get better at it and make sure that we're making the most of that network. You literally just never know who in your network could be that next step to you getting a gig, right? So it's important to keep it up. And look, we're going to continue talking about networking and mentioning it throughout the rest of this year of the talent show powered by TTEC. It's season 2, and we'll definitely touch on all the aspects of our talent and our company and things that are helpful, not just to our employees, but to anyone who's watching. So stay tuned. And by all means, follow the TTEC company page, and you're going to see people who work at TTEC. Just start asking to connect and just say, hey, I watched the talent show powered by TTEC today. Can we connect? Ta-da. All right. Let us move on now. We talked a lot about why we're doing all this networking. And we really have focused on the part where it's like, hey, I want my career to be blossoming. And so let's talk about how there are some opportunities right now at TTEC where you can get your career going into the next step with TTEC, because as I mentioned, we are hiring. So I am going to share my screen. And the first one, actually, let me get over here. I'm going to pop this up. So let's see. Let me share my screen. There we go. All right. So first, this is exciting. And again, you know, we've been in the middle of a pandemic, and we're all pretty used to the fact that remote work is a pretty big standard right now because we're all trying to stay safe. Really excited to share that we are hiring for a software engineer for AWS managed services. And we're hiring remote. Actually, we're also hiring in the US too. So let me back up really quick. I'm going to show this too. Here's the one. So we're hiring in the UK, but I wanted to focus on the one we're hiring in the US actually. So we are hiring. So if you work in digital, in STEM, and you're a software engineer and you'd like to join TTEC for a remote role in the United States, you can be pretty much in most of our states in the United States to work for us. Voice Foundry, a TTEC digital company, is hiring for the software engineer role. So it's really easy to go find this too, by the way, on TTEC. So I'm going to go, you just need to go to ttecjobs.com. So there's the URL right there. And if you scroll down a little bit, you can go right there. So maybe you want to say, hey, I want to look up, what'd you say, software engineer? Go look at that. Software engineer. And I love how this pops right up because it's like, oh, software engineer, you say? Let me show you all the roles. Notice it's more than one role. But the one I'm talking about today is software engineer for AWS in the United States for our Voice Foundry entity. So go check that out, and you can look right here. Any of those job listings that show up for that software engineer show up right there, and you can click right on the United States one. So please, by all means, if you are not for that role, but you know someone who is in your network, tag them right now, or grab the link, go look it up and grab the link, and look how easy it is to share. You can like just click Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, or email, or just grab the link to this job and you can share it right with that person in your network. Again, the power of that network, helping each other find our careers. And also, I'm happy to say that we are hiring in Kansas City in the United States. So, and multiple roles hiring there. So if you're located in Kansas City, whether you're on the Missouri side or the Louisiana side, please, by all means, or Kansas, excuse me, not Louisiana. I apparently am awful at geography. So I need someone in my network who's good at geography. Let's talk. But by all means, please go apply for any of our Kansas City-based roles that we're hiring right now. You've got property and casualty licensed agents. So if you're licensed in property and casualty insurance, right there. Also looking for customer service representatives and licensing and agents and stuff like that. Team leads. We're looking for it all. So please, by all means, go apply to our roles in Kansas City. Apply for our software engineer with Voice Foundry. And literally just go visit ttecjobs.com if you are looking for work, because we have multiple jobs, lots of jobs, and we're hiring pretty much everywhere. So just want to point that out. So with that, we are now at the end of the program. I wanted to leave you all with just a great video. We're always putting out video content to try to just let you guys know what the culture is like here at TTEC. And I'm really excited about this one. A huge part of our culture is respecting and employing military veterans and their family members. And so I'm really excited to show you this next video. We actually talked to a couple of our military veterans who work at TTEC, and they share their experience. So let's take a look at that.
For me, TTEC has been revolutionary. Due to my experience in the Navy, with engineering, and with sales in some few positions before this, for me, TTEC is just in a whole nother world. The management, the working with the clients the way we do, you know, policies, culture, everything, you name it, has just been life-changing for me to work at TTEC.
Yeah, most definitely. And to piggyback off that, revolutionary is definitely what TTEC brings, right? The culture, the family, the organization, the support, the internal growth. I think a lot of things come with just having that social connect with people that's able to be there for you and support you every step of the way has made my career, my path even more great. So TTEC is definitely, I would always consider the place to be and would recommend anyone for that.
I love the winky little T. But TTECjobs.com, human experience elevated. I hope that your experience with networking with other humans is elevated because of today's show, the tips we've shared in the comments, and keep visiting back to this video. What's great about these live streams is that people can come back, rewatch, and comment along with the show. You're probably going to see some more insights and more tips and tricks and stuff like that. But also, I just want to encourage you, don't only just come back to this video, follow this page. And you'll get an alert every time we go live. And this isn't the only time we go live. We also have other live streams and videos we do that are about what TTEC does for other companies too. It's a great way to learn about the culture and what we do here, what we accomplish together. And we're really excited for those of you who are networking your way into a new role at TTEC as well. So just a reminder, we are here on the LinkedIn company page for TTEC every Thursday at noon Eastern. We'll always be covering these same kind of variety of topics, but always focused on the talent of TTEC, because TTEC, as always, is powered by our talent. And you've been watching the talent show powered by TTEC. Wow, I don't think I could fit all those words into the same sentence any more than I just did. But thank you all for watching, and we will be back with you in just 2 weeks. Have a great rest of your January as we keep going and networking together.